Hey investors, this is the November update for my fund. So we had the US elections and it looks like Joe Biden will be president. In the aftermath of the election, there was a sudden rise in the stock markets. That's why it's important to stay invested so that we can capture these big gains that can come anytime really. Let me talk about some of the stocks we have in the portfolio and how I see the portfolio doing for the rest of the year. First, let's take a look at the performance. So we are up about 5% plus so far in November, and for the year we are about 30.82%. This is a little disappointing, and this is primarily due to a fall we had in one of our big positions, which I'll talk about shortly. But overall, I think this is pretty decent, and we still have very high quality companies in the portfolio. And I expect the company that didn't do so well in the last month to compensate for some of the losses. And I expect it to still be a very good stock to own in the coming months. So the S&P 500 done about 11+%. So we're still beating that quite significantly. So these are the stocks we currently have in the portfolio. So Alibaba was a stock that fell quite a bit in the last few weeks. This was because of the suspension of the Ant IPO, and also because there's a perception that the Chinese government is exerting more control over some of these big tech companies. The government came up with some antitrust draft regulations that were proposed for public consultation. So I think the Ant IPO will probably come back maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, or maybe a little more than that, but I think it will. So I think that's a short-term hiccup for Alibaba. I also think the antitrust regulations are not something sinister. I think in most major developed economies, there is a framework for regulating monopolistic practices. So I think it's a sign of the evolution of the regulatory system. I don't see anything that is being particularly targeted at Alibaba. So I think Alibaba will be able to take these regulations in its stride. There've always been, different kinds of regulations that apply to it, and those regulations have been evolving. But the important thing is that Alibaba is riding three main megatrends. Those megatrends are e-commerce, cloud computing, and digital payments. And Alibaba is a leader in all of them in China. So I think Alibaba still has a long way to go in terms of growth. Having said that, I am considering trimming some of my mega cap companies, stocks like Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and so on. I just feel that some of these mega cap companies may not have as much long-term returns potential as some of the smaller cap companies. So this is why I have companies like Autodesk, Teladoc, and Baozun in the portfolio as well. I'm looking at other smaller cap companies too, like Fiverr or even Beyond Meat. I think these two companies have good long-term prospects, and I'm studying them carefully. Teladoc was another stock that fell quite a bit in the last few weeks. I think this is because of the perception that telehealth will disappear once the pandemic is over. I don't really agree with this perception. I think telehealth is more than just video consultation with your doctor. I think telehealth can encompass a virtual healthcare system. And I think Livongo, which was acquired by Teladoc, is a good example of this. Livongo produces this diabetes reading machine, and through these machines, the customers are able to get health nudges or other kinds of signals if they are not being compliant with their health regime. So this is a very preventative type of medicine, and I think telehealth has a lot of potential in this field. Right now, Livongo focuses on diabetes, but it could focus on hypertension or obesity or other chronic conditions in the future. And I think with Teladoc's scale, I think Livongo has a big future. Another interesting stock in this space is Amwell, and so Amwell is a stock I'm looking at as well. Amwell fell to almost 20% on Friday, so its valuation is becoming more reasonable. And so since I'm looking out for smaller cap companies, Amwell is another one I'm considering as well. So I think we still have a very good collection of companies. These are companies with very strong competitive advantages. They have good growth prospects. So I expect them to do quite well in the coming months. If you are interested to join this portfolio and trust me with your money, then you are welcome to join the etoro platform and just click on the copy button so that you can copy this portfolio. If you need to get in touch with me, you can drop a comment here, or you could get in touch with me with email, or you let me know your preferred way and we can have a discussion. Thank you for watching and have a great day.